Well, guys, welcome to today's live stream. My name is Jared Wynn. I am the director and founder over at Geometry Gurus SAT. And over here, we help students increase their SAT score so that they can go to whatever colleges they want or qualify for whatever scholarships that they need. Today's topic, we're going to be going over the biggest mistakes that all parents of SAT takers make. Okay? And it's exactly what you think it is, but also not as well. Okay, so let's go over right now. I have 5 things prepared for you guys, so let's talk a little bit about each thing. Okay. By the way, if you guys have any questions, anything like that, any comments, you can go ahead and comment it on this live stream as well. This isn't something where I just need to be speaking the entire time. No harm, no foul. Okay. So the first mistake that a lot of SAT parents make is that they start their kid way too late or way too early. Let's talk about both scenarios. Okay. So if you start way too late, obviously, guys, you have no idea how many times I get on a call with a parent and they're like, my teen's SATs in 2 weeks. What can you do for us? Not much. If your teen is going to be taking the test in 2 weeks, then honestly, that's on you as a parent and as a student as well, for not getting the help that you need. Okay, people keep thinking that, hey, if my student gets help, then that means they're stupid. No, that's not right. It's stupid to think that your teen doesn't need help and waiting until the last minute. Okay, so guys, stop waiting to the last minute. Great question, Sam. I'm actually about to get into that as well. Okay, so again, guys, starting way too late, that is that's an easy way to get a horrible score. Okay, because think about it. If you start too late, you're not going to get the preparation you need. You're gonna bomb the test, and then now the colleges you want to go to aren't going to take you. Okay, and imagine what type of domino effect that has. Now the other way is starting way too early. A lot of students their parents would want to start them in 8th grade. What are you realistically going to learn in 8th grade? Okay, you haven't taken most of the math that you need to know. You haven't even developed most of your reading habits that you need to have for the SAT. There's no point in starting in 8th grade or 7th grade, guys. What you guys are better off doing, is during those years before the SAT, do activities that make them feel confident in themselves, because confidence bleeds everywhere. That means get them in a sport, get them in an extracurricular, somewhere where they can feel good about themselves and they can feel confident in their abilities, okay? Because guys, it's not concepts that kills the SAT, it is it's not the concept that killed the SAT, it's the confidence, okay? So if you guys have unconfident kids, it doesn't matter how smart they are, they're gonna bomb the test. So if you really want to get them prepared, make sure they're, getting straight A's in school in math and English. Hey, making sure they're doing extracurriculars in math and English, right? Doing sports to feel confident about themselves. And then that's how you're going to make sure that they're ready for when they take the test. Now, San just said, hey, your kid's a freshman. Right now, it might be a little bit too early for them still, okay? Because number one, they still have to learn Algebra 2, okay, or parts of geometry. The only time I say it's not, your teen shouldn't get started in freshman year, like most of the times it's a little bit too early freshman year. But if you know that your kid is extremely intelligent, is already ahead of the curve, and you know that in sophomore year, junior year, they're going to be swamped with APs and extracurriculars, that is the only time that I would say that is appropriate to be starting SAT prep as a 9th grader. Okay, anything else, forget about it. Start in 10th grade. That's a good time. For the majority of students, I say about 75% of students, I would say you're better off studying in 10th grade. Okay, for 90% of students, unless you guys have prodigies or unless you guys know that you're going to be taking the test, or you guys already know that you're not going to have time to do it in the sophomore and junior year. So yeah, right now he's taking geometry. Honestly, Algebra 1 and geometry, that's really all you need to know. Algebra 2, yeah, you need some parts of Algebra 2, but most of Algebra 2 is just based off of Algebra 1 anyways, so I wouldn't say that's a necessity, okay? Now, the second biggest mistake that I see or parents of students, this biggest mistake is that they try and start their kids in prep with no winning environment. They think, hey, I can either do it by myself or I can do it with a one-on-one, in a one-on-one setting. The reason why this is such a big mistake is because number one, no winning environment. Like if you need to see other students who are accomplishing the same goals as you are. Okay, if you're going to go, would you rather, let's say you're going to climb out Mount Everest, guys. Would you rather do that by yourself, or would you rather do that with a group of winners who were motivated, had high standards for themselves, but most importantly, they all want, they have the same goal in mind. Of course, you're going to be doing off better at the second one, okay? Because if you're just doing it by yourself, the problem is that you're going to hit these humps in the road. And if you're just by yourself, it's very, very difficult to jump those humps by yourself, okay? That's why it's so important to have other people there for you to help bring you out of these humps, okay? And most importantly, you're just not going to be able to see other people succeeding when you're just working by yourself. How are you going to know what's possible? Okay, you're not going to know what's possible if you're not in a winning environment. Okay, so that's why be careful about trying to do it on your own. And also, if you're doing it on your own, there's no one there there's no expert, no other people there to show you, hey, you're doing this wrong, hey, you're doing that wrong. So you got to make sure that you're very careful in that aspect. Okay. Now, the third thing I see that most parents, the next mistake that I see parents make is that they lack efficiency. Okay, they lack efficiency. What that means is that, hey, it kind of goes in what I said earlier. It's like, hey, my student can do it, 5 hours a day, 3 days, 3 days a week. Like, guys, that's not very realistic. Okay? They think that their kid is capable of doing 5 hours of study every single day. Okay, no. That's not the issue here. The issue is, number one, you don't have a way to diagnose your teen's weaknesses. Number two, you haven't found a way to actually use real SAT problems that mimic those weaknesses. And the third thing is, you have not found a way to simulate the test environment so that your teen has the mental and the conceptual capacity to take the test. Okay, so guys, you got to work smarter, not harder. You can't have your team doing 5 hours of prep every single day. Number one, that's going to burn them out. Number two, you're not really learning anything. Because why? You're just practicing things that you already know how to do. That doesn't make any sense, guys, especially when your team is scoring like a 1400 already. It doesn't make sense to study 5 hours a day on stuff that you already know how to do. Okay? Now, the next mistake that I see a lot of parents make is this one. Lack of belief. Okay, you don't know how many times I talk to parents and like, Jared, my kid doesn't need a 1500. He can't get a 1500. She can't get a 1500. All I need is a 12, 1300. Well, yes, I agree. It's okay to be realistic, but why don't you believe that they can get that? Why don't you believe that they can get that 1500, that 1400? That doesn't make any sense. You haven't tried anything. You haven't done any real prep. It's because you're gonna keep saying that your kid is. If you say that your kid can't do something, what do you think your kid's going to think? Your teen's going to be like, oh, my mom and dad, they don't think I can be capable. They don't think I'm capable of doing something amazing. They don't think I'm capable of getting into a certain school. They don't think I'm capable of getting into getting a certain score. So what do you think that's going to happen? They're going to fall right into that. They're going to be like, oh, I don't need to try hard. Oh, I don't need to score that high. Or, oh, I can't score that high. And then what happens? Then all of a sudden, now you can't go to the school that you want, right? Or that you deserve to go to, at least. You can't get the career that you want. You can't get the life that you want, okay? It's a domino effect from when you're kids, okay? So don't make that mistake of being like, hey, my kid can't do it. Because your kid can do it. They just don't know how to do it yet. That's the problem, okay? Now, on the flip side, thinking your teen is incapable of making mistakes. Thinking that your teen is perfect just the way that he is. Guys, there's nothing worse than a parent who thinks that their kid cannot make mistakes and then want to blame everything else outside of their kid. Okay? Oh, XYZ didn't work. XYZ didn't work. Okay. Listen, while I can admit that some places they don't take care of your kid, you need to realize as well, guys, it's a double-edged sword. It's not a one-way street, okay? If your teen is not getting the results that they want, you need to look at them really dead in the eye and be like, hey, is my team doing all the things they know they should be doing? Are they studying properly? Are they eating properly? Are they taking care of themselves outside of the SAT? If the answer to that is no, guys, then you have no business blaming everything else. Okay? Now, that is only 5 of the most difficult or the most common SAT mistakes that I've seen parents make. Okay, there's a lot more. We can definitely dive into that later on in a different live stream, but I wanted to keep this short. I wanted to keep this powerful. If anyone has any questions, please make sure you type them down below. But if you guys are looking for a way to mitigate these mistakes, if you don't want to make these mistakes and you want a streamlined plan to increase your teen's SAT score, all you need to do is send me a DM or go ahead and click on my banner and book a call with me, and then we can we can create a plan that can help your teen increase their SAT scores. Okay. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. I always like talking about this because it's something that's so prevalent in today's day and age with the new digital SAT. I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in today's live stream. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye now.